You think your bad habit is the enemy. But what if it isn't the enemy at all? What if it's a clue leading you deeper into yourself? You may have been told to crush it. You may have been told to silence it. You may have been told to drown it in distraction. They are born from what you try to bury. They come from the anger you never voiced. They come from the loneliness you never admitted. They come from the fears you never faced. You think they disappear when you hide them, but they don't simply vanish. They put on a mask and return in another form. Sometimes they return in endless scrolling. Sometimes they return in overeating. Sometimes they return in procrastination. The habit is not just a flaw. The habit is a voice. It whispers to you when you least expect it. It says, "Pay attention." It says, "Something inside you needs to be faced." That is why one habit often replaces another. You quit one vice and another suddenly appears. The wound beneath was never healed. You pulled the weed, but left the roots untouched. And so it grew back again. This is why willpower alone feels like running in circles. You tug at the branches, but ignore the soil beneath. The real work begins not by fighting the habit. The real work begins by understanding it. The next time the urge rises, pause. Do not scold yourself. Do not call yourself weak. Instead, notice what is happening. Ask yourself, what came just before? Was it a sharp word from someone you love? Was it a moment of feeling invisible? Was it an old memory heavy with shame? These moments are not accidents. They are signals. They are the hidden parts of you reaching for disguise. Your habits are symbols. They are actions carrying secret messages. Each one whispers, "Something in me is crying out." If you learn to hear that language, you can answer differently. Instead of numbing, you can sit with your feelings. Instead of running, you can stay. Instead of hiding, you can step forward. You may step forward imperfectly, but you will step forward honestly. And honesty begins to loosen the habit. There was once a man who drowned himself in work. He told himself it was ambition, but beneath the surface, he was avoiding silence. That silence forced him to face the truth of a failing marriage. So he stayed late at the office again and again. Work was the mask. Avoidance was the truth. When he finally faced what was broken, something shifted. He no longer needed to lose himself in work. This is the deeper purpose of the struggle. Not discipline for its own sake, but the journey of becoming whole. Wholeness means every part of you must be seen, even the parts you would rather ignore. The habits you despise most often hide the voices you silenced longest. Once you listen, you stop fighting yourself. You begin to understand yourself. And when that happens, escape routes lose their power. So, think of your own habit. Ask it quietly, what are you protecting me from? Ask it, what would I have to face if you were gone? The answer may be uncomfortable. The answer may be heavy. But within that answer lies the doorway to real change. Once you see the habit for what it is, something happens. You stop treating it like a monster. You start treating it like a message. And once you do that, everything changes. The urge still comes, but it feels different. You see the fear behind it. You see the loneliness behind it. You see the wound behind it. And you face those wounds one by one. The grip of the habit begins to loosen. The cycle begins to break. The old escapes no longer have the same power. You begin to find strength in honesty. You begin to find peace in facing yourself. The struggle is no longer something to hide. It becomes the place where you grow. And when you grow, you no longer run from yourself. You walk into yourself. You stand with yourself. You finally see yourself. And in that seeing, the habit loses its hold.